Welcome to Activity 1. This is a very brief introduction to the activity. I'll try and be quick. So with this activity, what you'll notice is called the question formulation technique. This is a technique taken from the Right Question Institute. It's used in all sorts of different arenas. You can click on the link in there if you want to know more about it. But just to show you what we're going to do. So the first thing is there's a question focus. So if I just move myself over here, that could be an image, a quote, could be a piece of text, could be some data, could be anything. So in this case, we've got this image and this quote. What you need to do is just look at that for 20 or 30 seconds and think about all of the questions that you can think about related to that photo, or the ones that it inspires. It doesn't have to be related. So it could be about the photo itself, it could be about the quote itself. It might just inspire you to think about a question about something much broader, and that's fine. Any question is legitimate. And what you need to do, the first part is to look at the photo. That's the question focus, and the quote. Think about questions, then write as many questions as you can. So we've got a little table here. So just type your questions in, whatever you want. So this is your personal document, right? Any questions, there is no bad question. Any question you want. You can do up to 20. You could do more than 20. If you can only do 3, you can only do 3. It doesn't matter. Don't judge anything. Don't judge. Think about whether it's the right question or think about whether it's a silly question or a good question. Just write down anything that you've thought of in terms of a question, what comes to your mind, and just type them out as they come to your mind. Don't stop or judge. Write it exactly as you first thought it. If you start thinking, oh, there's a different way I should have worded that, put a new question, start a new question, write them as they come to mind. If you comes up with a statement, put it down, try and reformulate that as a question. They all should be questions. When you've done that, look back over your question and identify the ones that you think you're most curious about or the most interested in, or for whatever reason is your best question. And just put a little asterisk by those questions. You think this question's quite good and this question's quite good, or this one's really the most important thing we need to answer right now. Put an asterisk by your questions or make them bold, whatever you want to do. The next part, you've done that, you've done your questions. If you click on this link, so if you just hold Control on your keyboard, click on that link, should open a browser for you, should come to this site. Now, hopefully, as we go on, there'll be some little boards being populated on this site with people's questions. So when you arrive here, enter your name or a pseudonym. I'm just going to put Paul. That's the easiest way to think about it. I'm going to click on Join. You might have done this already for another activity. Oops, I want to rejoin as Paul. And you've got your questions. You've got your 3 questions that you've identified. I'm going to add a card with my question. What is whatever my question might be. And I'm going to click on Add. And then I'm going to choose my second question. And I'm going to add that. Why do we, etc., etc. And I'm going to add my third question. What is the consequence of, etc. Something specific that I've come from that image. So there are my 3 questions. Now, what you're going to do on question part 5 of this activity is, hopefully as we're going on, people will be posting different questions and you can be looking at those questions. And what you then do is you say, oh, that's a really interesting question. And what you've got is 5 votes. Now you can vote on, if you really like a question, you can give it 2 votes. You might even give it 3 votes. You might even give it all of your votes. Or you might say, that one is really interesting. I like that one a bit. And that one's quite good as well, and I'll give that a vote. And you might change your mind. Another question might pop up and you might think, actually, no, that one's really interesting. So add votes to questions. If you really want to make a comment, you can actually even comment on that. You can click on the question itself and put in a comment. That's the most interesting comment, and we'll see the comments as they come through on those questions. The last part of the activity is just begin some reflections. What questions did you choose? Look over the questions. Did you choose questions that try to support what you already thought? Would it be possible to find out answers to your questions? You can just reflect on this activity. You might even reflect on how you found the activity. Then what we're really interested in doing is going back to the main group and discussing how that activity was and how we found it. And then we'll do some other activities from that. So the last thing to do is to